Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on the link. My name is Nick with Royale, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about a company that, unless you've been living under a rock, you've probably heard a ton about, but might not know enough about. I finally bit the bullet and purchased my first set of products from this company, and I wanted to give you guys my first impression. So, without further ado, we're going to be talking today about, that is right, KastKing. And as I mentioned, unless you've been living under a rock, this company has totally taken the fishing industry by storm. And the biggest reason why is they're providing really high quality gear at a fraction of the cost. So obviously, you know, fishing gear is super expensive, and all of us spend way too much money on tackle, rods, reels, line, etc. KastKing has totally disrupted the market in the sense that they've eliminated a lot of those operating costs that other big box retailers and manufacturers have to fulfill, and pretty much have a factory direct model where they're producing the products and shipping it directly to you. So that's why you're never going to see a KastKing product in a store. You're only going to see it online. And the reason being is really to cut down on cost, which is directly transferred to you and me. So, you know, this reel, I'm sure if it actually hit a store, would easily retail for, you know, $80, $90, maybe a little bit less. But this is the intro reel. Okay, this is the Royale Legend. So I've already cracked this thing open because I'm like a kid on Christmas. I can't wait for these boxes. And once I get them on my front door, I just claw at them. So I do want to give you guys my first impressions though. I've never used KastKing before. You know, I was turned on to them by a lot of other YouTubers that I saw fishing with them and other stuff that I had seen too in social media. And, you know, people kept talking about it. I figured, why the hell not? You know, there has to be something good about them. So I went ahead and picked up this new reel. So again, this is called the Royale Legend, okay? So this retails on Amazon for sub $40, okay? I mean, look at that. For less than $40, okay, you get a 7.0 to 1 gear ratioed casting reel, okay, with 11 ball bearings, okay, and magnetic brakes, foam handles, okay, an aluminum spool, brass gears. I mean, you can't complain with at least what they put in here, right? Obviously, I haven't used this, so I don't know how it's going to perform, but I think it's pretty much a sure shot that this thing is going to be a very big winner. Now, I also fish with a Air Pro Max and a Lose MG Speed Spool, so it'll be interesting to see how this compares, and maybe I will do a video comparing all three of them at some point, but I want to put some time underneath this. But for $40, I mean, first impressions, right? You can't go wrong. It fits really comfortably in the hand. It's not too heavy. It is a little bit lunkier than I felt with the Pro Max, but it's probably a little bit less than actually the Lose MG Speed Spool, to be honest. Another great thing about this too, aside from the gear ratio that you're going to get with this, because that's a really good gear ratio I think to use for a lot of different applications, is the fact that the drag on this is 17.5 pounds of drag. Okay, some of these other bigger named manufacturers who produce reels that probably are similar in quality but cost a ton more don't even have anywhere near that. And that's great, because once you get things dialed in with your brakes, your spool tension, also the drag, you can really, I think, maximize this reel for a lot of different applications. It won't just be good for bass fishing. It's going to be good to take out to the river to catch some bigger fish as well, which is great, you know, and that's what you want. You really want to be able to utilize your gear for a lot of different applications. I think this is going to be a great thing. So thus far, really pleased with it. Oh, another big thing too, foam handles, right? These foam handles are awesome. I can't tell you how many times my hands have slipped off of rubber handles. So to get this on a $40 reel, where a lot of the other reels that are going for, you know, $150, $200 are just starting to include foam handles, I mean, that's pretty stupid to me. It's just awesome. It's just a whole nother perk. It's like, why would you not buy this? So, you know, there's definitely a reason why there's been over 1,000 reviews on this specific product. And it has a 4.3 star rating on Amazon. You know, for 40 bucks, it appeals to every angler, and you're really gonna get some good performance out of it based on what I read, based on what I've seen. So I'm pumped about that. And because, of course, I had to get the reel, well, I had to get line with it too. So I picked up some SuperPower braided line. This is a 50-pound test, and some 12-pound test FluoroKote line. Now, I've seen, preface, one of my favorite YouTube fishermen out there is Extreme Philly Fishing. I think he's one of the best anglers right now on YouTube, mainly just because he goes after every single species known to man with tons of different gear, really methodical, understands the science behind stuff. Sometimes it's a little bit too much for people. They just want a little bit more entertainment. But for someone like me who's trying to learn a ton, it's awesome. And so he's sponsored by KastKing. And if he lives and dies by this stuff, it has to be pretty good. So I figured, you know, I have to go ahead, pick up some FluoroKote, pick up some braid, and go ahead and put that on this brand new reel. Now, the last thing that I did get, I will show you. That is right. I picked up the Perigee 2. Hopefully you guys can see that. Okay. This is one of their signature newer reels, I guess. They had an earlier model of this called the Perigee, obviously, because this is the second one. But I picked this up to go ahead and pair with the reel. Now, the main reason why I did that is because all of the gear that I use, I mean, I have one combo that I've purchased. I have an Abu Garcia Pro Max combo, and you know, that's balanced, right? And what I mean by that is that, you know, the reel is really meant for that rod. Well, I wanted to make sure that when I purchased this reel, even though it's cheaper and I picked up the rod, I still wanted everything to really be meant for what it was for. So I wanted to go ahead and pair up the Royale Legend with the Perigee 2. And first impressions of this, I mean, this is one of the lightest rods I think I've ever held. It is constructed with 24-ton carbon fiber. I can't even think of like the word for it right now. Oh, that's what it is. A 24-ton carbon fiber blank. So carbon fiber is a very strong material if you don't know, and it's also a lot lighter than other materials. So, you know, you have this awesome, interesting little eyelet. I've never seen something like this on a reel before. And in addition, you also have foam grips, okay? The notch down here where you hold your finger is actually, it's actually a little bit more pronounced. So you feel like you get a good handle on it. And, you know, the rod size that I picked out, this is a 7 foot 1 inch medium heavy fast action rod. Now they make a whole assortment of the Perigee 2 in both casting and spinning. This is a single, this is a one-piece rod, sorry. And they also make a 2-piece casting rod. They also make a 1-piece spinning rod and a 2-piece spinning rod, which is great. So, you know, I wanted to pick specifically this size up because there's a lot of different applications I know I can fish this with. This retails, should have done my homework. This retails for $60, okay? So out the door, right? Sub $40, this is $60. I picked up a brand new casting combo, essentially, for under $100, okay? One thing that is probably overlooked too with KastKing stuff is the fact that there is a pretty good warranty on it. So really, anything that breaks the material or any manufacturing defects for up to a year, you can go ahead and send your products back. And I believe just like any other company, you'd have to pay for shipping, but they'll go ahead and they'll send the replacement parts out. So, you know, first impressions of this, this is it's a great rod so far. I mean, I'm really excited to throw some line on all of this and get this fishing. I mean, you can't go wrong. Picked up this. We got to pull out the Baitcaster again because it's beautiful. But like, shoot, all this, like, I think I spent in total maybe $120. And you know, all their other stuff that's online too is at a really good price point. So I'm excited to really put this through the ringer. I'll give you guys another update video once I get a couple months with this, and hopefully we're gonna land some big fish. So yeah, so definitely if you haven't yet checked out KastKing, they're definitely worth at least checking out. Obviously I can't vouch for the performance yet because I haven't used it, but for the price point and given all the hoopla online, that, you know, it's definitely worth checking out. So appreciate you guys tuning into this quick little first impression episode, and hopefully we'll see you guys soon when we get some fish.